Hey guys, Ben with Dissent Off-Road. We're excited to show you this brand new build we just finished. Well, almost finished. About 90%. We're going to do a shakedown run and we'll take it back to the shop, finish everything else up when we get back from Moab here. But also I want to touch on, we just finished this literally the day before, hopped on the highway, and we've driven this thing all the way out here. It's performed flawlessly. We're getting like 14 miles a gallon. It's supercharged. Portals, 40-inch Milestar tires, so pretty stoked on that. But let's dive in. We'll show you what we've done so far to this one. So in the front, we've got our aluminum steel hybrid bumper packed with a bunch of different Baja Designs lights. So we've got our S2 triple fog light package, our S8 30-inch bar incorporated into that. One thing I'd like to show you too is a lot of these bumpers that have the incorporated light bar, you actually have to put it in from behind. So all of our bumpers, you can actually install that light bar into the bumper after the fact. So if you ever have a problem with the light, anything goes wrong, you can take that in and out without removing the bumper. But packed in here, we've got a Come Up 12.5 winch. This is their new trail edition. We've got some Agency 6 gear on the front that we've custom coated to match the gray, which I'll show you on the wheels. Obviously, this is on 74 weld portals. And then we've got a dirt. So this already had the suspension installed. So it's a dirt keying with kings, triple bypasses, pretty set up. So we've lowered the suspension down. We've taken the preload out so it's not lifted so high. And then we installed the portals, but also note this is the Tundra front end. So basically this is about 1.5 inches wider than the stock LandCruiser 200 control arms. But honestly, we thought we were gonna have to swap all that out. I was pretty stoked that it's actually not, the poke's not too bad when we paired that with 74 Weld's new wheels. So the stance, it's aggressive, but it looks right on this rig. He's gonna use this to wheel pretty hard out in his trails in Arizona. So I think the poke is actually gonna work for us here. But let's walk around this side. We'll show you some of the other things we've done here. So again, like I said, this is a little bit of a work in progress. We've not yet fitted 40-inch tires onto a 200 series, so it's a lot more difficult than the new gen stuff. So right now we've got a lot of clearancing here on the fender. We've done a full cab mount relocation, so a whole new cab mount there. We've taken about 3.5 to 4 inches out here, and we've tubbed that whole floorboard. One thing you can look under here, we've got a lot of, we've done the inner fender plates and we've tied everything in real nicely. So all of this is sealed, everything tucks, makes it look OEM. Once we confirm that our bumper clears, we'll cap all that off and do the final body work. So we've got a brand new set of 74 weld bead locks. These are a plus 50 on the offset, so that helps bring it in a bit. And then we custom coated these in that same gray that's a very close match to the body, which I think turned out killer. And then we did black on the beadlock rings and actually coated the bolts to match that gray. Walking around the side here, so up top actually we've got our roof rack, so full aluminum roof rack. We got the Baja Designs linkable up top there. We've got our S2 Sports on the side with our aimable brackets, so these you can point straight out or point down. Keeping that kind of gray scheme around the back or side here, we've got our Agency 6 grab handles coated in that gray as well. Nothing on the rack on this one yet. I don't think he plans to put too much up there. Then down here, we've got our aluminum step slider. These have been modified and shortened both front and back to fit the 40-inch tire. One thing I actually do want to point out is on the 200s, every time I see big tires run on these wheel wells do not aesthetically fit a large tire. So that was super important to us to get a profile that makes this 40-inch tire look right. Not too much, not too little. We didn't go up crazy high here, but again, it just looks right with that 40-inch tire. Back here, same deal. So we took quite a bit off of this bumper. We recapped that. We've taken about 1 inch all the way around. I'll show you some of the details here. So we've got like 3D printed caps. in everywhere we've cut. So we want to make sure everything that we cut is all sealed off. Edge trim, there's a place for it. We're typically not a fan of it. This is on here just till we test it out this week and make sure it clears. Once we get it back to the shop, assuming there's no rubbing and everything fits, we'll get rid of that edge trim. We'll fully weld that seam. We'll do all the body work, paint, so that'll all get welded. No edge trim on these fenders once we're done with it. So let's walk around. We'll show you what we've got in the rear. So aluminum steel hybrid bumper. Again, we've modified this to fit the 40-inch tires. This is our dual swing, so we got a full-size spare back here. We've put the apex valves in the wheels on all 5 of them. Again, we've kind of kept that color scheme as we come around back. So we've powder coated the handles on our swing arms and a couple other oddball things back here in that gray. So this is our standard dual swing bumper. So again, this is the same as our production version. We've just made some modifications to fit the tires. We've got our flip up table. So that's a super cool little feature. Easy open close, slam style latches. So super easy to open and shut. Over on this side, we've got our ladder with our accessory panel. So we've coated these in the gray as well. This works real well if you want to put a roto pack, something like that, but also still use this as a ladder to get up on your roof rack. And then inside, we've got the full air down gear up drawer system with the sleeper and then the Dometic drawer fridge. So this is a super cool setup. Again, we just put this in just before we headed out here. So we still got some work to do on the electrical, but this has the full drawer on this side, pull out table. This is our go-to for drawer systems and really all of our builds. What's really cool in the 200 series, which I've run this same setup in my LC250 and a lot of our new gen builds. However, they're a lot narrower. You got a lot more space in the 200. But what's cool about this is this fridge is actually on its own slide. So that can come out. You got a little surface here, and then you got room to mount your battery or your power cube to power the fridge. And then you still get that pull-out table underneath the fridge, which is awesome. With that, you've got little side storage compartments there with the flip-out doors. So pretty cool setup. I think the customer's going to like it. He will be sleeping in the back here when he's camping. And we've also got the Perry parts, bump stops front and back. So again, we hope you guys like this. We're super excited about this one. This is our first 200 we've done in this way. We're really curious to get it out on the trails this weekend and check it out, see how it does. But if you guys are interested in any builds like this, we do a lot of these. We do the new gen stuff, we do the old stuff, we do everything in-house. So all of the installs, all the fabrication work, all of the body work, everything is done in-house at our shop in Colfax, California. So check us out and feel free to shoot an email to sales@DissentOffroad.com if you're interested in getting a quote.